Morning ladies, morning gents, welcome back. This morning I'm going to be sharing with you how to decorate the front of your shopping list notebooks. As you're all aware, I am trying to prepare for a Christmas market to raise money for charity. Um, and I would just like to say the charity that we're raising money for is Macmillan Nurses, and they do wonderful things for patients with cancer. So if you can find it in your hearts, just to send a little something, then I would be really, really grateful. Um, so what I wanted to share with you today is I have been making these, which are Christmas shopping list notebooks. Okay, so I'm just decorating the fronts of them. I bought a packet of plain ones, which are just like this, and the front cover is just plain white, and then you have your shopping list pages inside. Okay, they're not very thick, and there's just card on the back. So we're going to decorate some of those like this. Okay, so I will just go through the process of what I do myself with these and how to apply the pencil to the side. Okay, and then as you can see, they just open out for your shopping lists, and they will be packed up in some nice long bags and decorated nicely. But I think they're a nice addition to stick in any lady's handbag and put your Christmas shopping list on there. So if we get started, so I've just got my plain notepad here. Okay, and then all I've done with this was obviously measured how long it was, and then this here is 8.2. So I actually cut my piece of paper at 9.5 inches, because not only do you want it to cover the front, but you need a piece to tuck around the back here as well, okay, to cover this nasty little black bit. So I've cut my piece of paper that I want to be using. So this is what I want to be using, okay. And then all I do is I lay this across the front here, make sure it's lined up, or if not, just overlapping like a 1/16 of an inch across there, okay. And then make sure that's flat there, and then all I do is I run my finger along there, so I kind of know where I'm gluing to on the other side. Okay, so you've got that little crease on there, and then it's taking me glue. This one's running out, so you may have to bear with me. I'm trying to get the glue actually out the bottom of the bottle. I have stood it upside down all night, so hopefully we shouldn't have too much problems. And just literally put tons and tons of glue on there because you don't want it coming off. Okay, and then I've only glued, if you can see that, just up to where that line is there. And then again, I'm just going to place that down on there, making sure that's level and with the sides. Okay, and then just give that a good push down. And you can take your bone folder as well, just to, give it a nice smooth out like so. Okay, so then you'll have your pad that's covered, and in the back you'll have this little flap. And then all I do with this little flap, turn the book over. This is actually, I'm not too sure if you can see that, but there's kind of just off on that edge there. So all I'm going to do is take my big scissors, and then where it starts to go off a bit, I've been having this problem lately because my trimmer seems to be a bit out. So there we go. I'll just trim that edge up so that's nicely on there. And then I'm just going to get my glue, cover this piece here like so. And then I just take my hand and then just kind of like rub it along the back there to lift that paper up, and then just literally fold that over the top there, like so. Okay, and then give that a good burnish so it's not going to go anywhere. Obviously make sure you've got no glue bits kind of around the sides here, because obviously you want your book to open. You don't want people not to be able to use it. Okay, so that's the back. So it's nicely covered and it's got rid of that horrible black piece. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I've got a collection really of from this Christmas paper line. There's loads of these little round tags. I actually print these out at different sizes, and I don't have a circle punch, so I just fussy cut around them. And then obviously there's sheets of tags. There's some little bows to cut out and create. And we have some tickets. And we have these little banner pieces, which they actually print right across a whole sheet of A4. As you can see, I've just cut them in half because you don't want them sticking off the edges of your book, obviously. So all I've got really is I've just cut a few pieces out. I've got these two tags here. So I'm just going to take, if I can find it, I just have one of these little Versamarks, and this is 54 brown. It's a bit worn out, as you can see, but I only use this on its own just to go around the edges of my card. Only very quickly, and it just gets rid of that horrible white core on your card that you don't want. So just taking all your pieces. I don't use this for stamping or anything, I just virtually use it to go around the edges. I've cut a bow out as well, so I'm going to go around the edges of that very quickly. Like so. And then this is the top piece of the bow. I'll show you what to do with this in a minute. Let's get them done. And then I've cut one of these circles out here, and that says Season's Greetings on there. So then I'm just going, literally just spinning that in my fingers, going around the edges. And then I've printed these twice on a sheet of A4. And then I've taken the same one again and just cut the centerpiece out of that. Okay, these papers are absolutely stunning, and I get these papers from a gorgeous lady. She's absolutely amazing, and her name is Michelle. So hi Michelle. And her company is Michelle Art Designs. You can find her on Facebook, and she has her own website as well where she sells all her paper collections. And I have to admit, since I've been using her, I don't very often buy pads of papers anymore. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just kind of see where, you know, I'm going to be wanting these to go on here. So I'll probably have that about there, and then can place the bow across there. Right, okay. So all I'm going to do with these tags here, just putting plenty of glue on the back like so. I'm going to place that one on there. Most of this, obviously, as I said, you want it stuck down flat, because you know, ladies putting them in and out of their bags and stuff. So, and then I'm going to place that one on there. Then push down. And then with these, all I do is take a square sticky pad, peel that off and place it on the back of my circle, and then peel the other side of that off, and then find out where I want that. So I think that will go probably there. And then all I do for this bit, because I like to have it a little bit sort of three-dimensional, I've taken one of these squares here, and I've just cut it into little strips like that. Okay, so then, oh, don't want to come off. Take that off the back, and then all I do is literally stick that right in the middle there, and then take the backing off of that, and then just lining that up very carefully in the middle of my circle over where the other one underneath is, and then just give that a little push on there. Okay, like so. And then taking my bow, what I do with these, once I've cut them out, obviously as you just seen me do, distress around the edges, and then taking your bone folder, okay, I like to hold it tight in the middle so the paper doesn't tear or rip, okay, and then just bend it over like that and drag it along so it gives it that curl, okay, which makes it easier to create your bow for sticking down. Okay, so it will look kind of like that. And then all I'm going to do with this is place a little bit of glue right in the centre there. Sorry, I hope you can see this. It's a bit hard trying to work upside down. And then just line that up on the back there, like so. Hold that into place. If you turn it over, you can make sure that it's lined up, because you won't see any kind of the white paper at the back underneath. Okay, just give that a little push down there, and then again another little tiny dab of glue, and then taking that side like so, turn it over, just make sure there's none of that horrible white showing. I'm giving that a good push down on there so it doesn't come undone, and then taking my piece underneath where you've got the curve of this here, obviously you want it to match up with the curve on there. Okay, so how I do that is lay that down, put a dab of glue just across the bottom there, and then if you take your bow and kind of bend it, not so you've got creases in it, but just bend it slightly, and you can line that up perfectly with the one underneath. Okay, and just hold that for a second on there. Okay, just give it a good push down. Okay, so as you can see, that is lined up perfectly on there. And then again, I'm just going to put some glue across the back there, and then deciding where I want this, because obviously we're going to have a pencil down here, so I'm actually going to stick that on that side like so. I think we'll have that straight across there like that. Okay, and then just give that a push down on there. Obviously when you decorate the front of your books, make sure you leave enough space on one side or the other, so you can get your pencil on the edge of the book. And then all I've got is these tiny little flat back pearls, bobbly ones, and in the centre of my bow I'm just going to put a tiny little dab of glue, and then place that in there like so. Okay, So that is the front of my book. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, all I've done is, from the works, I just bought a packet of plain pencils, plain lead pencils with a rubber on the top. There's 12 HB pencils in here for £1, so they're ideal for doing these sort of bits and pieces with. And then all I've done was cut out 2 little strips of paper. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to roll that round your pencil. Okay, so just rolling that around the edge of my pencil. Okay, so it overlaps enough. Okay, make sure you overlap it about another half a turn of a pencil, and then just taking my little scissors, just cut that off straight across there like so. Okay, and then unroll it again, and then right across this edge, I'm hoping you can see this, right across this edge, put a little dab of glue across there. Okay, and then roll that back over itself. Obviously you don't want to roll the paper too tight, because you still want to be able to slide the pencil in and out. Okay, and just hold that for a second so it's stuck, and then turn it over like so, and then make sure you've got plenty of glue on there. It doesn't matter if it spurts out at the end, I prefer it like that because it helps you to sort of smooth down the edge. Okay, and then just carefully making sure it's straight, roll that around there, and as you can see there's probably a bit of glue there that is actually going to spurt out, but I don't mind that, because take the glue on your finger and just rub it over that crease, okay, to make sure it's stuck down and it's not going anywhere, like so. Okay, and then you can still slide that up and down your pencil like so. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is take the other piece of paper. I'm going to do the same at this end. So I'm just going to roll that around the pencil, making sure it's straight where I want it. Okay, giving it a twist, and then again just cut that off straight across there, unroll it a bit, and then again just put in a little dab of glue across there. Okay, just on the start edge of that paper, roll it up a tiny piece, like so. Oh, that's not tight enough for me. Okay, let's try that bit again. No, it doesn't want to go straight. These things always go really, really well, you know, off camera. As soon as you get on camera, everything seems to go wrong for some reason. Okay, and then again, put in a bit of glue across there. I'm just going to roll that up so it's nice and straight. Little spurt of glue at the end. Okay, and just rub that across your paper. Okay, if you're using this tacky glue, Eileen's original tacky glue, it virtually sticks instantly, and as I said, that slides up and down like that. So you should have 2 pieces of paper on your pencil, and then all I do, taking my book, I kind of decide that, okay, I want my pencil roughly about there. So what I do is where the 2 lines are, so where the 2 lines are from the edge of your paper, obviously I don't want them showing on the top, so I just take it off, twist it round to make sure they're both on the bottom of the pencil that is going to be stuck to the book. Okay, getting the excess glue off my fingers. And then all I do with this is just dab glue across the bottom there, where those seams are. Okay, and then turn it over so it's at the bottom, and then just lining that up along the edge of my book. I will decide where I want it. Don't forget, you can slide these pieces of paper. You know, you think, oh, I don't want that there, that's in the way of the tags, then move it up or down. Okay, they do slide until you've stuck them, so decide I want that there. Just make sure that it's not hanging over the edge of the book and it's lined up nice and straight. Okay, placing that down, and I'm just going to give that a push down, just holding that there for a second. And then obviously you want to put these to one side and let the glue dry properly before you move them and, you know, start packaging them or anything, because otherwise you're just going to knock this off if it's not dry properly. Once it's dry, it's not going anywhere, believe me. Okay, so then you have your pencil stuck on your book. Okay, so it's like that. Now I won't bore you for too much longer doing these. I do have another 2 cut out here ready to go with my bits and pieces on. So I'm just going to move them to one side. Obviously, as I said, you can decorate your books however you wish to. On the bigger books, the only reason I'm doing this one, I have got loads that are already covered, not Christmassy. I actually want to do this one for myself because I like to write down things that I've planned for Christmas, what groups and things I'm doing for Christmas. So it's handy for me just to have a little notepad, and I thought I would decorate it Christmassy theme so I could show you. So all I've done, as you can see, this is an old one that was already covered, but the cover got a bit ripped. So I've just literally taken it off. If there is no cover, you can buy these books, and not all of them come with a clear cover like that for you to decorate on. They only come like that. So what I'm going to do quickly is just show you how I cover these using that there. Oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups now. Again, I've taken this lovely piece of paper. This is another one of Michelle R Designs papers. Oh, excuse me. Absolutely gorgeous. But obviously the side of the paper that I wanted would only fit across that way, because I wanted this paper along the bottom and across the top edge there. So what I have done is I have created a piece to go along the back and just tuck over the front to hold this front piece of paper on. I cut this at 2 1/8 of an inch, and then all I've done, you can probably see it on that side a bit better, is I scored it at 1 inch, and then I scored it again at 1 1/8 inch, and that seems to be just enough gap on there, if you can see that, to go over the top of your books. Depending on how thick they are, you would have to measure the gap. Okay, but what I'm going to do with this, obviously I don't want to be like putting that over there and that covering that design on the corner there, because that will look a bit strange. So what I'm actually going to do is open this out, and where this crease is along here, I'm just going to glue on this side only for the moment, on there. Like so. Obviously if you get little glue spills come out, as I said before, you know, just wipe it off, and then just lining this, the top piece of this paper up with that first score mark that I made. I'm just going to line that up with the edges of the paper and along that score mark there, like so. Okay, and then just give that a varnish. It's pushed down nice and tight. Okay, so then you've created your cover. Okay, and that's stuck on there with your flap on there. And then just taking this, obviously I don't want to you know, make sure the front is lined up where you want it to be, and then taking it very carefully, still trying to keep it all in place. Tuck your edge over like so. Okay, and then I'm going to, still holding it firmly in place where I want it. Let's just make sure, yeah, okay. I'm then going to, oh, sorry, that did slip. I saw that then as I put it down on the table. So just make sure, sort of go along your edge, you know, make sure you can just see the edge of the paper there, and it's all lined up. It's lined up with that side, and it's lined up nicely on that side. Okay, so then I'm just going to run the glue along the score line and along the piece that's going to be tucked over the back, making sure you have plenty of glue on there. And again, just taking my fingers underneath. Okay, I'm just going to pull that up so it's nice and tight, and pull that over to the back. Okay, just run your fingers along the edge so it's where your score line is, and just pull that backwards like that, so you know it's going to be nice and tight across there like so. And then I just take this other little bone folder piece, come with the other one, and just use the edge of that to give that a nice push down across there, so it looks like it's, you know, professionally finished. So there's your back, there's the edge where your score line is, and there's your front nicely covered. Okay, and you have a nice cover there. Okay, you could always lay that down there, because where you've glued, if you pull this open like this now, you will still be able to see the glue there along your score line. So all I do with that is make sure that's pulled over nicely to exactly where you need it, and then just give that a good push along that edge like so, to make sure that's stuck on there. Okay, and then obviously again you're going to want to leave this to one side, as I said, so that dries across there. Okay, and then once that's stuck, you will be able to lift this back like so. Okay, if you find it easier, if you don't want to be able to get to the pad to rip the pages out, then you could always run a strip of glue across there on the inside of the cover to stick that down to the front page. But obviously if you want to rip your pages out of the book, then you can't be sticking it to none of your pages. Okay, so then we have that, and then what I've done here is I've got some tags, so I'm just going to very quickly, don't have to be so perfect with these, that's the joy of distressing around the edges. You know, if you're not very good at cutting a straight line, don't stress too much, just try and get it as best as you can, and then taking your ink pad, you can just distress around the edges. Okay, and then I've got this one as well, which I've just put Merry Christmas across there. We're using some Christmas stamps and black ink, which is a StazOn ink. So obviously, because hands are going to be across the front of the book and stuff all the time, I wanted to use the ink that's not going to smudge or, you know, come off or get slightly damp and then it smears everywhere. So again, just Cutting those off there, like so. Okay, and then taking my little brown one again, just very quickly, just run around the edges, like so. I'll do this one as well. With this tag, where I've put the Merry Christmas on the top, I thought it was a little bit bare. So all I have done is I've cut a strip off of the bottom of another one of these. As you can see, it's the same paper. And I've just done stamped Jingle Bells across the bottom of it. So that one is going to be behind. This one is going to be on the front. And then all I'm going to do is glue this little strip here. And I'm just going to lay it where this border is across the bottom here. So making sure I've cut it so you can just about see a tiny bit of border either side. Okay. And then giving that a push down, wiping that glue off. Okay, so it just kind of brightens it up a little bit, makes it not so plain and boring. I'm not too sure if you can see that. I just cut it so it fits in between the border bits at the top and the bottom there. So that will be going on there. Again, I've cut out one of these. I'm not very good at cutting in round circles. I try my hardest, but you know, but again, that doesn't matter. Take your ink and go around the edges of these like so. And then again, as you can see, I've taken exactly the same one, and all I'm going to do is cut along the lines of the centerpiece. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect if you're going to distress around the edges of it. Okay, like so. And then just putting a bit of ink on the edges of that. And that will go on there. And then I've cut another bow out from the same papers. I'm going to quickly ink around the edges of them. Like so. I'm actually getting quite excited now. The Christmas market is not actually until the beginning of November. So if you did want to send me in any of your contributions, you know, I would be very grateful. And you can just PM me on YouTube, or you can find me under Donna English on Facebook if you'd rather do it that way. You can message me. I will give you my address if you would like to send any items in. So turning this over, as I said, the Christmas market is to raise money for the Macmillan nurses that help the cancer patients, and without them a lot of people would be very lost and confused and not knowing what to do, and the work that they do is just absolutely amazing. But they don't get very good funding from, you know, government plans and things, so most of the money that they get to support themselves and, you know, the units that they build and all that stuff actually comes from fundraising. So this is why I think it's a great idea to be doing this. And as soon as I heard that they was doing it, I just jumped on it. I was like, yep, I'm doing that one. So again, just take my little circle and sticky pad and place that on the back there. And then sticking that about there because I don't want to cover up that Merry Christmas. And then again, taking one of the smaller strips wherever I put them. What did I do with them? Oh, they're there. I covered them up. I've got so much on my desk at the moment, you wouldn't believe it. I'm trying to work in this one little area here, trying to get everything done, and I've got books everywhere and Christmas tags to do, and God, there's tons. Okay, and then taking this little piece again, I'm just going to place that across there like so, and then getting my bone folder and curling my bow, dab of glue and stick down the edge. Just hold that for a couple of seconds, make sure the glue is actually sticking, otherwise it will pop undone. And then the same with that side, just holding that down till it's stuck. It's stuck to my finger now. And just placing a bit of glue across there. Again, make sure it's up the right way, not that round that way. Just place that in the centre there. Okay, like so. Then put another dot of glue across the back there. It's me saying I don't want to cover up the Merry Christmas, but I don't think I'm going to have much of a choice here, because I kind of want that there. Or shall I put that across? No, okay. I'm going to put that across there like so, and then it doesn't cover up the Merry Christmas. The only thing I didn't do was find something to go in the centre of this bow, which I will actually do off camera. I need to put something in the middle of there, unless I have something to hand. If you can bear with me a second. Right, okay, so we'll use one of these. Just got a pot of these jazzles, I think that's what they call them, and I need to find a nice red one. There we go. I'll just double glue on there again, and then stick that onto the centre of your bow like so. Give that a push down, and then I've also got here some tiny little, I'm not too sure if they're 2 or 3 millimeter flat back red gems, so I'll just get a couple of those out, and my gem sticky pencil. And then all I'm going to do is on this corner of this tag, I'm just going to put 3 tiny little dots like that in that corner, and then picking them up, placing that down in that corner like so. And that just gives it a nice little finish. Obviously the glue on them will dry clear, but that gives it a lovely little finish. So I hope that's been really helpful to you today, guys. Give you some inspiration, you know. As I said, these little books, I'll be using a pen on this, so I'm not going to stick a pencil on there. I've only done that for customers for the Christmas market. But as I said, these books, they make lovely little gifts and things in stockings for Christmas, etc. You know, or if you want to send a friend one, you can decorate them how you like. They do not have to be Christmassy. They can be just a shopping list book for mum's bag. So, you know, go get creative, guys. I hope that's give you some inspiration today. Thanks for joining me, and as I said, if you would like to donate any items, a few Christmas cards, anything like that, then, you know, it would be helpful, and I'm sure it will be very grateful. So yeah, you can just private message me, or find me on Facebook under Donna English. Yeah, so that's it for now, guys. Love to you all. Be good to each other, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.